Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and this is going to be kind of a story and a little haul. So, I'm a nighttime person. I usually go to sleep around 7 or 8 in the morning, sometimes later, depending, especially on Tuesday and Wednesdays when I do my new comic book day pickups. But I went to sleep last night around like 7, something like that, and I woke up around 2, and when I woke up I had a couple phone calls and a couple text messages from my secondary LCS. It's really like my backup, and I'll kind of go into why. And I think I might be moving it to my main LCS because they have come through twice, and again they came through. So I keep my pull list at both the LCSs, and my secondary LCS, they are DNA Comics here in Houston. Big shout out to DNA. It is a smaller LCS compared to the one I normally go to, and that's why I go to the other one, because it is a bigger, more established comic book store. But I mean, shit me not, like I always have like problems getting the indie books at my main LCS. So I go to my backup LCS, DNA Comics, to usually pick up indies, like very rare indies that come out. I know a lot of people had issues with Bad Idea Press. I did not. I was able to pick up, Bad Idea every release. I didn't have to search for them. No second printings here. It's just Houston is a big city, and people forget that. So we have a lot more access. And I'm sorry, it's not my fault, but that doesn't mean I get everything. I miss out on a lot. 2 of these books I missed out on, and she had called me and she knew I was looking for them. And I feel so bad because I don't even know her name, and she remembers me. She remembers that I have this channel. I don't even think she knows what my channel's name is, but we've talked and I've told her, hey, I do little reviews and stuff like that. So I always mention, books that I'm looking for so I can review them on my channel, because they're either indie or nobody's talking about them, and they sound interested in me. So the big call that she called me on, and enough of my long rambling, was heavy metal. And for me, this was my first heavy metal pickup, and I really wanted this book. It was like the first heavy metal book that really sounded interesting for me to check out their publication. Now, heavy metal's been around since the late 70s, early 80s, something like that, and I've never picked up a heavy metal book. I've seen both the movies, Heavy Metal and Heavy Metal 2000. I know what it's about, and I enjoy it. It's just, they've always were sold in magazine form, so I just, I kind of stayed away from the magazine format. But the phone call I got was on Never Never, #1. It was a book that I really wanted to read, and for those of y'all who don't know, this is like a retelling of Peter Pan, and it's supposed to be like a twisted version of it. You'll see right here on the cover, it's got the alligator. I've also been told that it's kind of a mix of like a dark version of Peter Pan and a mix of Lords of the Flies, and I actually like both tales. So I was very excited to get this, because not only do I want to review it, but I want to get the word out on this book. Now, I know a lot of people like me had problems getting it, so I know it's going to be a hard, sought after book. The other one she did call me in on was my LCS finally, well, actually like 4 books that she had called me on. That was the major one, and then she had told me they got, different printings of Nottingham, and I've been trying to pick up Nottingham ever since it came out. I was sold on Sheriff of Nottingham's Mask, and it's a twisted version of like V for Vendetta, if y'all have not seen it. So I was able to secure #1, and I think this is 5th printing. And Evil, he don't care. This is PC. I just want to read it, review it for y'all. Is it even worth the hype that because this is I think #1 first printing is a very sought after comic, and it's getting pricey as far as the value goes. But I picked up #2, and this is a 3rd printing. I think they had 5th, like 4th, of a bunch of these, and they actually had 1 through 4. So I went ahead and picked up 1 and 2, and she's got 3 and 4 on hold. I kind of wanted to see if I liked it before I went any further. Last but not least, a book that I really wanted to buy, because as an adult, I have never really bought any of these books specifically, but this is an 18 older plus, I would say like 21 and older, because I've seen some of the inside in this book, and I bought this kind of like as a man buy. This is Jungle Fantasy Fauna #0, and it is by Boundless, let's say Boundless Comics or Boundless Productions. It just says Boundless. But I went with, I think this is like the B cover or the A. I think they had like 46 different covers, and they get graphicer as you go. I'm not positive if I'm going to be able to review this comic, because it is very graphic in nature, and I have done an 18 and older like YouTube, the age restricted video before, and it's not that I have a problem showing nudity and stuff like that. Most of us are adults who watch my channel. I mean, if not, there should be some parents monitoring the kids that watch my channel. I always, you know, specify this is not my channel is not for kids. It's not to say that what I'm talking about can't be oriented towards kids. It's more the language and the amount of violence and graphicness that I show in the art. That's kind of why I always plug it not for kids. I would love for a teenager or a kid to watch my, you know, to use my videos, my reviews and stuff like that. So these are just random pickups. This is a new book that came out recently, another one that I missed out that I wanted to read, and she held this for me too. But this is No Ghost in Hiroshima from Scout Comics #1, first printing. I'm so glad she held both Never Never and both those for me. And I mean, they already, the Never Never has already gone up in price. She could have, you know, flipped it or had it at a higher. I mean, it's a LCS, so shout out to her, man. A series that I've wanted to read. I found issue #1, and I'm missing 2, 3, 4, 5 because it's a 5-issue series. But this is volume 1 of Year Zero. They do have 2 volumes out now. I am a big zombie fan, apocalypse fan, you know, post-apocalyptic, anything like that. And this was a big one that got like huge raving reviews. It reminds me a lot of Train to Busan, the Korean movie. But this is issue #3 of 5, and I'm just picking them up so I can stack them and eventually read them. If not, I'll give a trade paperback eventually. A big one for me, a title that I've wanted to read. I was just late on the Marvel boat. But Black Widow #1 variant edition, and I'm hoping this is to the current series because it does say 2020 inside. And I have been wanting to read this because it is one of the more talked about Marvel series that is going on right now, and I do like Black Widow. So yeah. Next up, a very, very old indie book that I have been trying to secure older issues so I can do a full review on it, but this is Dreadstar #2 from Epic Comics. It's a subsidiary of Marvel Company, and this is by Jim Starlin. And I was just happy to get #2. I think I got this for 50 cents. You know, these comics are not very expensive, but they are a little harder to find because they are older indies. But I kind of want to do a whole bunch of reviews on these older indies and get some shout outs their way. Last but not least, a big comic for me, and I bought these all newsstand day one on the shelves when I was growing up because I always thought this was the coolest idea. And this was something that disappeared in the event. Like I said, I've owned all these issues. I owned all 9 of these, and I had, I think the first one is a 12-issue series, or 9, I don't remember. But this is Marvel's Secret Wars #2. It's just the regular edition with the Spidey, you know, plug in the front. I did pay a little more money on it. It had a $5 price tag, but at this place, this buy one get one free. So technically, it was like $2.50 because I got 2. I got that Jungle Fauna book and this one. So it, you know, I mean, it was $5 for both books, but technically it was $2.50. It's just a really clean copy. I don't see these ever. I would love to get the first Marvel Secret Wars, but of course, with the first appearance of the black suit in issue #8, it is getting a lot more pricey. But I always love that whole, like, you know, that somebody was abducting all the heroes and villains and putting them on this planet to battle out to see which side is better. That is right up my alley. I did that as a kid when I played with figures and stuff like that. For me, in Evil's world, the villains always won. They're always cooler, man. Anyways, that is my quick little haul. I have more videos coming. Y'all don't know I have to watch them when I drop. Just, you know, whenever you have the time. I know I drop a lot. Single guy, camera, and a microphone. You get what you get. Y'all lucky I don't pump out more. But I do have a couple more reviews. I got some more indie books and some more Marvel books from my new pickups coming. Please like, comment, subscribe, share if you feel willing. Again, love to everybody out there that spends a little time with me. like I've said this before, this channel is one of the most amazing thing, if not the most amazing thing in my life right now. You know, we have other things that stack on, but just doing this and doing this for y'all, and hearing some of the comments, and you know, hearing stuff like, oh, I use your reviews, or I wouldn't have bought that book, but because of your review it sounded cool. That's kind of like one of my main goals here, you know. I read a lot as it is. I mean, even if I wasn't doing this channel, I would still be doing just as much as the reading as I am now. But again, I thank every single one of y'all. I will be back shortly. Y'all have a great day, a great Saturday. I will be hanging out with Spine Ticks tonight with Sith Lordy. You know, Roscoe, a couple other different people. Maybe Nick will show up, I don't know. But y'all let me, you know, y'all come chat it up with your boy Evil. All right, Evil out.